When you hear the name Insomniac Games, you probably think of Ratchet Clank, Spyro the Dragon, or perhaps their recent Spider-Man games. Long before they introduced the world to OverCharge Delirium XT, Insomniac gave us a first-person shooter filled with a whole bunch of cheesy full-motion video overacting. I'm of course talking about Disruptor, the developer's long-forgotten debut that was released on the PlayStation back in 1996 and went on to garner generally positive review scores. With everyone falling in love with Miles Morales, I thought this might be a good time to look at the action game that started it all for Ted Price and Insomniac Games. So turn back now if you don't want to know what happens next, because today we're going to spoil the story and endings for Disruptor on the PlayStation. This is Game Over, the early years. Disruptor is a first-person shooter that was released on home consoles before developers knew how to make a first-person shooter on home consoles. Hell, it came out in 1996, a whole year before the PlayStation controller even had an analog stick. As a result, this debut release from Insomniac Games feels understandably dated. For our purposes, the first-person shooting is largely going to take a back seat because almost all of the story is conveyed through a series of full-motion video cinemas. Because of this, we're going to try something a little different in this episode. I'm first going to quickly describe the story and then show off the two endings, just like normal. However, this is going to be followed by a complete supercut of all the cinemas in order. If all you want to do is watch the cheesy video, then skip to the timestamp displayed right now on the screen. For everybody else, let's go ahead and dive headfirst into a harrowing adventure full of brothers, duty, and neurological implants. It's the far-flung future, and Jack Curtis has decided to follow in his brother's footsteps and enlist in the Lightstormer Corps, an elite army that protects the United Earth against aliens, space pirates, and terrorists. As it turns out, the universe is a hostile place, so the Stormers are equipped with psionic powers that will unleash awesome mental attacks that'll give humanity a leg up in the fight. Unfortunately, mastering these abilities takes some work, so Jack's brother, Blake, has stepped in to train the new recruit and turn him into a soldier that would have made their deceased father proud. All this happens as President Krieger warns the Stormers of a hard fight, and a mysterious woman monitors Jack's training. It's while going through the simulation where our hero meets up with his biggest competition, a cocky cadet named Troy who always seems to be just a little bit faster and stronger. But Jack isn't ready to give up, and instead makes it through training with flying colors, only to immediately get thrown into a peacekeeping mission against a bunch of pirates in orbit over Jupiter. This victory leads to a speedy promotion to corporal, but before Jack can celebrate, Troy bursts in with news of his own. He's been promoted to sergeant. But guys, there's no time for jealousy just yet, because Troy is off to Mars for a secret mission, and Jack needs to help a bunch of terraformers on Neptune's moon Triton. Now, because of Jack's heroism on Triton, the Lightstormers Corps has learned about a new species of ice mutants. They're going to go ahead and send a bunch of scientists to study these creatures, but Jack can't be part of this away mission. It seems that President Krieger has specifically requested Jack for a special assignment on Mars. Yeah, that's right, Mars. It seems that Troy was sent to Mars to recover an alien orb, but was killed when his crew was ambushed. Now it's up to Jack to finish the job and find that orb. Long story short, Jack finds the orb and returns it to President Krieger, who displays it right there on his desk just like a trophy. This comes with a promotion to lieutenant, but Jack is still reeling over the loss of Troy and wishes that his brother was here to be part of the celebration. Hey, where is Blake? It seems that he's getting some rest and relaxation over at New Atlantis. But just when it looks like Jack will be able to join him, an emergency call comes saying that the power reactor at New Atlantis has gone super critical, possibly because of sabotage. Jack volunteers to go on the rescue mission, which tasks him with running through the cooling stations trying to add enough time to the countdown to save everybody. But try as he might, Jack is unable to keep the juggling act going, and the reactor explodes with him inside. As it turns out, Jack was teleported out of the reactor just before it blew up. His savior is that mysterious woman from earlier, who he learns is named Eve and has an interesting theory about why that explosion happened. She makes a convincing argument that now that President Krieger has that orb, he can create his own army of mutant fighters. Blake and the rest of the Stormers are dead, so it's up to Jack to stop this madman before he has a chance to enact his evil plan for world domination. Jack agrees, and then is immediately captured by Krieger. Instead of just killing the Stormer like he probably should have done, the President wants to use his technology to extract the powerful psionic abilities out of our hero. But don't worry, Jack fights through a trippy stage and ultimately frees his mind, which allows him to break free of his torture device and hunt down the evil President Krieger. It all comes down to one last epic fight, with Jack going up against a guy superpowered by an alien orb. Jack wins, of course, and this is what happens when you beat the game on the normal difficulty.
Now that free elections have been held, as new President of United Earth, I'm proud to promote you to Commander of the Lightstormer Forces and Keeper of the Orb.
Now, let's go ahead and rewind back to that Jack versus Krieger fight and see what happens if you're good enough to beat the game on the hard difficulty.
And remember, cadets, if you can survive Lightstormer training, you'll bear the awesome responsibility of defending global democracy across the reaches of space.
And cut. That was great, Jack. Look, I know you want to get back to being a Stormer, but being interim president does have a few perks.
You know, in some ways, both of these endings are surprisingly similar. The biggest difference seems to be that in one ending, Jack has been elected the president, while in the other ending, he's just the interim president. In both endings, he ends up making out with the hot resistance fighter, all while caressing that alien orb Krieger was after. It's an ominous ending that suggests that perhaps it's not the happily ever after we were all hoping for. That weird Martian orb definitely has some sort of control over whoever touches it, which suggests that the Who may have been right after all. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. The cycle continues unabated, even if the names and faces change. The point is, even after all the shooting is done, power will always corrupt and we're doomed to repeat history. Man, talk about a bleak ending. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. You don't have to take my word for it, because here is the complete, uninterrupted supercut of Disruptor's story. See you on the other side.
And now, the President of United Earth.
In 4 short years, we will enter the 23rd century. And thanks to the policies of my administration, the future never looked brighter. But our colonization of the solar system still has its growing pains. As you already know, I too was once a Stormer. Of course, that was many years ago, and we were just pioneering the field of psionic weapons. But my experiences in uniform built a foundation of service, loyalty, and of courage. If you can survive the Lightstorm training, you will bear the awesome responsibility of defending global democracy throughout the regions of space. Who knows? Perhaps one day you'll find yourself sitting behind this desk as President of United Earth and Commander-in-Chief of the Lightstorm Forces.
Okay, little brother. This is your last chance to change your mind and go home.
I didn't graduate top 10 from the academy to take some desk job, sir.
Your dad would have been proud of your grades. But school's over and now the real lessons begin. Are you ready for your first training mission, Private?
Sir, yes, sir.
Your job is simple. Run the gauntlet and get your butt out alive.
Now, who's this, sir?
That's the top of your class.
Troy Alexander?
He seems to know his way around the block. How about you?
Will I be getting any psionics, sir?
Why would the government waste good money implanting expensive psionic weapons in a cherry recruit? If you don't have the brain power to outmaneuver a few droids with attitude, I never forgive myself for sending you on a real mission. Just remember, think fast, shoot fast, and kick ass.
I feel like hell.
They say the first one hurts the worst. How many psionics did your dad have?
I don't know, like 4 or 5?
All the psionics in the world couldn't have saved him from that terrorist ambush. That's why you've always got to keep your eyes open. And watch your ass.
And which psionic did we get, sir?
Nothing too shocking. Maybe it's time you tried it out. Now you know this training mission won't be a cakewalk like the last one. I want you to get through the chem factory alive. And don't forget, good stormers always think on their feet.
That was nice going back in the chem lab. Real nice. Think you actually beat my record.
Thanks.
Man, aren't you getting tired of playing these games? I am.
I say if we're calling it a game, we're still not ready for a mission.
Are you kidding me? Man, I haven't missed one trick. Not even that hidden stuff. I'm ready to go.
Any hints on this next one?
Just that you'll be getting a new psionic called Drain.
How's it work?
You'll figure it out.
So what's the mission?
It's a high-pressure IQ test. They want to see if you can nail the bad guys without blowing away any of the hostages.
Hostages?
In the words of your brother, being a stormer, it's more than just kicking ass. Show us you got what it takes, and then maybe, just maybe, we'll send you out on a real mission.
Well, little brother, you made it through with flying colors. You're the best we've ever seen. Other than me, of course.
Well, what about Troy? I mean, he's already out on his first mission.
Jealous? Look, Troy's a little faster out of the gate than you are, that's all. But he still relies a little too much on what's in his hands instead of what's in his head. Fortunately, that's not a problem you seem to have. So cheers.
What is it?
A gang of cryo-pirates just pulled into orbit over Jupiter. Looks like we've got to find someone to beam onto their base and knock out their anti-gravity engines. I think you can handle this. But before we send you into combat, you're gonna need some medical enhancement.
Well, I've already taken advanced first aid at the academy.
Look, you didn't get all this high-priced training just to get blown away by pirates. We need to protect our investment. Considering the cost of medical care, I think you'll appreciate what I'm offering. Before we send you halfway across space, let's take a trip to the psionics lab.
Observation complete. This new Lightstormer, Jack Curtis, looks promising. He could be the one. Report out.
You're really making us proud. Corporal?
Corporal? I heard it took Dad 3 missions to make Corporal. How long did it take you?
You know, President Krieger's taken notice. In fact, he's so impressed he requisitioned an endorphin boost to permanently enhance your vitals.
Ah, I guess he wants to keep me around for a few missions, right?
Here. You're a big boy. Better learn to implant it yourself.
You mean I'll get more of these later?
Jack, they're unbelievably expensive. We don't hand them out like candy.
Dad served under President Krieger, didn't he?
President Krieger's the one who tried to rescue Dad during the ambush. He said Dad was the best of the best.
Well, until I came along, right?
Save your bragging till later, because this time we're really putting you to the test.
That's a vintage terraformer. It's at least 10 years old.
Very astute. 10 years ago, the government sent a group of contractors to resurface Neptune's largest moon, Triton, for farmland. They've been living and working in these terraformers without any problem. Until this morning.
Never been to Triton. Any pointers?
Yeah, don't drink the water and don't breathe the air.
You going to Neptune too? Sergeant?
Jack, I have full faith you can handle this mission alone. We're sending the sergeant on a special mission to Mars.
Special mission, huh?
Congratulations on your promotion.
Yours too.
Bet it won't be long till we both make lieutenant. Who knows, you might even get there first. Nah.
The President himself read your Triton report.
What did you make of those mutant icemen?
He was as surprised as I was. He's sending a team of scientists up there to study them. But because of your outstanding performance, he's giving you...
Another promotion?
No. He's giving you a special assignment.
Oh yeah? Where?
Mars.
Mars? Well, what about Troy?
He didn't make it. Don't make his mistake, Jack. Remember, use everything you've got. This orb was uncovered on an archaeological dig on Mars. We think it's alien in origin.
I guess that makes it worth a few bucks.
Yeah, well, we need to get you up there to bring it back. Everyone on the dig was wiped out. We don't know why. I've got a bad feeling about this one. The transportation beam is having a stability problem. Even if we get you up there, we doubt that your weapons will make it through.
Hey, don't sweat it. It'll give me some time to try out that new psionic. Nothing beats a hot meal after playing in the snow.
This might. Here, you're gonna need it. We're shipping you to the moon of Io.
No, I heard it's got a great view of Jupiter.
Yeah, well, not where you're going. It seems that a few greedy members of the Jovian crime family have decided to take control of the sulfurine mines.
Why don't we just vaporize the whole moon?
Then where would we get the sulfurine to produce the antimatter for our weapons?
Got a good point.
Don't forget to send me a postcard.
You're the finest stormer our academy's produced, Jack. Your father would have been proud.
Thank you, sir.
What's wrong, Lieutenant?
I'm just sorry that Sergeant Alexander didn't make it this far. And I don't understand why my brother isn't here to see this, sir.
Well, he's on special assignment, son. I've sent him to New Atlantis for R&R, and now I'm ordering you there to join him.
R&R? Sir, yes, sir.
Priority 1 emergency. The power reactor on New Atlantis has gone supercritical. Looks like sabotage. Security's been wiped out and I'm 50 clicks from the nearest teleporter. We need someone to get in here, kick ass, and get the core shut down ASAP before it goes to meltdown.
What's the quickest way to the teleporter, sir?
I happen to be familiar with these reactors. Look for the cooling valves in the side rooms. That'll buy you enough time to get to the teleporter in the center core. Now you get there, and we'll transmit you out. Good luck, Lieutenant.
As soon as you lower this force field, there'll be hell to pay.
Hell was already paid, Lieutenant, by the innocent thousands who died on New Atlantis.
Where's my brother?
We locked onto the coordinates, but we were only able to pull you out.
He's dead?
Murdered. Like all those who died in the blast.
Who the hell did this?
Think about it, Jack. You get to the core of the reactor and there's no teleporter. No exit whatsoever. Is that your idea of R&R?
You're trying to tell me that President Krieger set me up? One of his own men?
His lust for power started long ago. Now that he's got the orb and the genetic databank, he'll create his own army of mutants and have unlimited power. He's got to be stopped.
Why me?
We've been scanning the solar system for someone with strength, wisdom, and integrity. Someone we could trust with man's most powerful weapon. We're with the Alliance of Democracy, Jack, and we need your help. If you are truly committed to defending global democracy, then join us to disrupt Krieger's plans for domination.
What is this great weapon?
An enhanced psionic, known as Terrablast. The procedure only takes 10 minutes. We've already broken the codes to get you into his orbiting habitat. Bring him to us. We'll be a lot fairer to him than he was to your brother.
Lieutenant, I'm very impressed. I thought you died with the rest of them. So, what do you think of the extractor? I think it's a perfect fit. You know, I remember when I requested the funds for a teleporter that looked like my office. The bean counters thought that I was just acting paranoid. Of course, once it was completed, I needed absolute secrecy. So I had them, shall we say, extracted from office.
Yeah? Well, it's quite comfortable, actually. I'm thinking about getting one for the barracks.
Just like your father. Disrespectful. He tried to stop me once, too. He was the only one that figured out that I was looking a lot further down the line than just being some sad sack stormer. You see, he found out that I was hunting for the orb in my spare time. Of course, when he threatened to unmask me, I had a few terrorists pay him a visit. You son of a... Well, Stormer, let's see how you match up with my little toy. You see, I'm not just going to kill you. I'm going into that precious brain of yours, and I'm going to extract that Terrablast your friends at the Alliance gave you. I understand that the extractor can be a little disconcerting to the thought process. I'd offer you a couple of aspirin, but I'm not authorized to prescribe medication. Think good thoughts.
Right into a trap. Can you get me out of here?
The whole area is shielded. We can't log on to you. But there's a teleporter at the gate to the prison. Get there, and I'll bring you back here.
Yeah, well, when I get there, I'm going straight for Krieger.
Now that free elections have been held, as new president of United Earth, I'm proud to promote you to commander of the Lightstormer forces and keeper of the orb.
And remember, cadets, if you can survive Lightstormer training, you will bear the awesome responsibility of defending global democracy across the reaches of space.
And cut. That was great, Jack. Look, I know you want to get back to being a stormer, but being interim president does have a few perks.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Game Over, the early years. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we post new episodes almost every Monday. Now, here's the question I have for you. Should Insomniac Games resurrect Disruptor? Look, I'd say that the pre-analog stick gameplay doesn't really hold up especially well. But you know, there are some solid ideas here. Might be interesting to see them revisit this game at some point, I don't know. In other news, we'll be back later this week with both Electronic Gaming Monthly's best reviewed games of 2006, as well as the worst. We'll also be reviewing Space Invader Forever, which will be hitting Switch and PlayStation 4 later this week. If that sounds good to you, then I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then,